Man, Paddy was impressive. And I think,
Bro.
DC, for me, it's about energy, right? It's about what energy do you bring to any place that you're in. The pre-fight, right? The pre-fight had us excited. Obviously, walking into the octagon, and then the potential being shown inside the octagon, right? The left hook, finishing the fight. And then after finishing the fight, being able to come on afterwards and have an energy, have a confidence, have a bravado that was full of appreciation, right? Paddy Pimblett didn't come on and make you feel like he was entitled to that win. He didn't make you feel like he had never gone through anything. For him to say, you know what? With the adversity that I've dealt with, not only in the fight game, but the adversity I've dealt with in life, I was prepared for this moment. And so now you not only have this captivating dude that has this haircut like Mark Davis, who's the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, but you got a dude that goes out, talks the talk, walks the walk, and then shows some humility afterwards and says, you know what? I'm just like y'all. I'm human. I've had to deal with things, but because of the stuff I've dealt with, I'm ready for this moment. And I think that's what got me more excited than anything. We've seen dudes walk into the octagon in debuts, right, and be great. We've seen them answer all the questions that we needed them to answer when they showed up. But it was everything that goes along with Paddy Pimblett that's important, because now that's where the fight game is going. DC, the fight game is no longer you just get to get in the octagon and do what you do. People are not paying money for that, right? If people were paying money for that, it wouldn't matter about brand. It wouldn't matter about social media. What this dude is and what he can be is the next star of the UFC. And we all know that Dana is looking for stars.
You know what I love about Paddy Pimblett was that he got hurt in the fight, right? So it looked like, oh my goodness, the plans are going to be spoiled. Then he wins in the fashion that he did. But then he goes on the microphone and he puts himself on the same level as the fans. But he put himself above the other prospects because he called nobody out. He said, no. You call me out, right? You call me out. I'm going to be the guy. And not everybody understands that you have to do those types of things to really separate yourself from everybody else, because we've seen a ton of people and young athletes make impressive UFC debuts, but we don't see them handle every single step of the journey in the right way. I thought that Paddy Pimblett, having to deal with the adversity of the fight, having to talk with Michael Bisping in the octagon, who is a wordsmith himself, handle himself the way that he did, leave the octagon dancing, singing How You Like Me Now, going to the back and dropping dimes over and over again, was absolutely perfect. But Ryan, I got to be honest, for as impressive as Paddy Pimblett was, I kind of left the Apex that day
I know what you're about to say.
thinking about Tom Aspinall.
I know what you're about to say.
I was thinking about Tom Aspinall. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm a big guy that likes the big guy.
Right.
Because guess what? The vast majority of people like the big guy. There's very few people, there's very few Habibs, there's very few Conor McGregors that if Conor McGregor, Habib, and I walk onto a campus, everybody's going to be intrigued by those two small guys. Generally, you stick Tom Aspinall and you put him and Paddy Pimblett walking around ESPN, the people in that place are going to turn and look at Tom Aspinall and go, wow, who's that? Because he's a heavyweight. And what he did to Sergey Spivak was insane. Because when he landed that elbow, Spivak just crumbled under him. And now you got a young athlete that's undefeated in the heavyweight division that is not only winning but finishing people. Now he's put Spivak behind Arlovsky. He is beating former champions. He's beating great guys, and he looks to be the next big heavyweight star in the UFC. And guess what, RC? For as exciting as Paddy is, he looks like a young Owen Hart. He's got the hair, or one of the Von Erichs from way back in the day.
I love the Von Erichs,
It doesn't matter. Because, boy, do you remember the Von Erichs? That's growing up in Louisiana.
I'm old,
That's why
bro.
you know the Von Erichs.
I love the Von Erichs.
That's why you love the Von Erichs. The claw, you know
Yes,
know the
sir.
claw. You know the claw.
And the fact was, the greatest thing about the Von Erich claw was that the fact that he couldn't keep it off you himself. As strong as he was, he couldn't. He used to try to hold it back from getting to you, and even he couldn't stop it. Yeah,
he's like, I don't want this claw to get you. I'm trying to keep this claw off your forehead, but he couldn't even keep his own claw off of you. But for as much as Paddy looks like him and has that same type of appeal, Tom Aspinall, if he continues down the path that he's on right now, is the person that the world is going to take notice of. Because, Ryan, I remember back when I was the world champion at heavyweight and light heavyweight, and I had been to the ESPYs as the light heavyweight champion. And the following year, I went to the ESPYs as the heavyweight champion, and it was so much different.
Right.
I mean, you would not believe the difference of being the heavyweight champ opposed to being a champion in another weight class is. And if Aspinall can keep going, he's going to be the guy that's going to be the star in the UFC.
Yeah, see, I think we've talked about that on this show before, what it means to be heavyweight champion, what it means to be Francis Ngannou, or before that, Stipe Miocic, or before that, Daniel Cormier, because I say it all the time. If I'm walking down the street and I want to take somebody down the alley to fight for me, I'm going to pick the dude that's 250 to walk with me, not the dude that's 155, no matter how bad he is. The heavyweight champion of the world becomes the baddest man on the planet. And the thing we want from our heavyweights, though, DC, is we want knockouts. We want finishes. Nobody likes to see heavyweights get into the octagon and bounce around like dancing bears. And I know that that's probably sacrilegious for somebody who's a fan of mixed martial arts to say, but we love to see guys get in there and slug it out. That's why a guy like Mark Hunt, who was never a champion, can be a fan favorite.
So wait. You're telling me right now, Ryan Clark, that because Tom Aspinall's so skilled and he doesn't just plod forward?
No,
DC. Hold on a second. I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
What I'm trying to tell you is this.
You say he's bouncing around.
No,
you say he's bouncing around.
Nope. You're not going to do this to me.
Okay.
Just because you're still talking bad about Amanda Nunes, you want me to be.
Don't do this.
You want me to be in the crosshairs of Tom Aspinall. I'm actually commenting and complimenting Aspinall because he is getting those violent finishes. He's getting the violent finishes that makes us love heavyweights plus the skill. Because the game has changed now.
Okay.
Right, the game has changed now. You need to have the skill if you're going to stand across from the Cyril Gans, right? We saw that with Derek Lewis. So he has that type of skill in order to stay in that fight, but he has a finisher's mentality.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.